And welcome to episode 59 of Superannuated Starman. I'm your host, Sean Ryan, and as always, I'm joined by Chris Duerksen.
Hi.
And Cory Braucks.
Welcome to the world of tomorrow.
Well, today's also pretty great because we have a special guest, Jonathan Rivera. John, it's been a while since you've been on the show. Thank you so much for coming back. How are you doing?
Doing good. Always fun to do these, man.
Yeah, and we'd love having you on.
When did we have him on last?
When did we have you on? John, what was the last episode that we did together?
Oh.
Was it Metal Gear or was it something after that?
We did one after Metal Gear, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Was Pokemon before or after?
No. We did the one together, just you and I, which was the music of SNES.
That's what it was. Yeah. Well, today we're going to be discussing an amazing title that started off as little more than a proof of concept tech demo. And that game is Portal by Valve Software. So stick around, enjoy this music, and when we come back, we're going to discuss the history behind this amazing game. Narbacular Drop was a 2005 puzzle platformer developed by Nuclear Monkey Software. The game, to put it loosely, was a senior project of students that were attending DigiPen Institute of Technology. The gameplay consists of the player creating doorways, marked by a glowing-eyed stone demon's face, to navigate a dungeon. These doorways were differentiated by either orange or blue eyes, and these colors carried over to Portal as a nod to the game's predecessor. If you want to try the game for yourself, type in Narbacular Drop into any search engine, and it should be the first result. And as a note on that, the word Narbacular isn't even a real word. It was simply chosen by the team to aid in search engine results. If you just want to check it out without installing the game, there's some Let's Plays out there. It's very short, and most of the videos are around 10 minutes total. As I said, it was a student project, but it's a very impressive one. It was so impressive that it got the attention of Robin Walker, one of Valve's game developers. After he saw the game at DigiPen's career fair, he got in contact with the team and offered them some advice, which they immediately took him up on. This prompted Walker to give them the opportunity of a lifetime, a chance to show their game at Valve's offices. During the presentation, Gabe Newell, one of the founders and current president of Valve Software, asked members of the team what their plans were after college. Some had already taken offers at various studios and other positions, while some were still undecided. He then and there offered the entire team a job to further develop the concept into a full-fledged game to eventually be titled Portal. Little beyond the core gameplay mechanics survived into the final product, and for the first year of development, the team was focused almost entirely on gameplay, without any narrative structure. While the game itself was fun, playtesters for the game asked, what was the point of each room and what was it all leading towards? This realization that while they had some amazing gameplay, without a compelling story behind it, It was ultimately just solving a puzzle and moving on to the next room to do more of the same. And to expand on that, they brought in Eric Wolpaw and Chet Falachek. Working together, the two wrote the script for Portal, who early on had decided on a concept of an AI guiding the player throughout the entirety of the game. Due to limited art resources, the team originally reused Half-Life 2 assets. Realizing that players would recognize these assets, the decision was made to incorporate Mark Laidlaw, the writer for the Half-Life series. He was tasked with fitting Portal into the Half-Life universe, a decision he disagreed with, saying that it, quote, made both universes smaller. With the story taking shape and gameplay well on its way, the setting was the next thing to tackle. The clean, clinical feel of the game is a result of playtesters spending too much time trying to complete puzzles using decorative and non-functional elements of the environment. By removing nearly everything, it made the usable aspects of the puzzles easier to spot and streamline the experience. From test chambers to maintenance areas, a third portion of the game was meant to be playable. The team had planned to include more office areas to be incorporated, but simply ran out of time. They also dropped the introduction of an NPC, that is, Doug Ratman, the character that left you those cryptic messages in the maintenance sections. While he didn't make it into the game, the character was expanded upon in the tie-in comic called Labrat that ties the narrative of Portal 1 and 2 together. Much like Half-Life before it, Portal has a silent protagonist, Chell. Throughout the game, the AI narrator mentions numerous times that Chell was abandoned at birth, but it's made clear that the AI is an unreliable historian. While exploring the neglected areas of Aperture Science in Portal 2, the player comes across a long-abandoned Bring Your Daughter to Work Day display. Among the projects is a potato battery experiment signed by none other than Chell, suggesting that she is a daughter of a former employee.
And what happened to all those employees?
Neurotoxin.
Was I helping with the segue there?
It works because, of course, there can't be a protagonist without an antagonist. Enter GLaDOS.
Hello.
Short for Genetic Lifeform and Disk Operating System, voiced by Ellen McLean. In the first game, GLaDOS guides Chell through the facility, occasionally praising and equally insulting the player as they progress, promising a reward of cake for successfully completing the testing chambers, though she has a much more sinister ending in mind for Chell. But GLaDOS wasn't always in the picture. Originally, the player was just going to escape the facility by restarting a generator after collecting several batteries scattered around the level. This wasn't found to be very compelling, so they changed it and added GLaDOS. After nearly 2.5 years of development, Portal released on Windows and Xbox 360 as a part of the Orange Box on October 10th, 2007, and the following month on the PlayStation 3 on December 11th. Portal was included in the compilation alongside Half-Life 2, Episode 1 and Episode 2, and Team Fortress 2. The shorter length of the game was in case that it wasn't well received by players. However, those fears were soon laid to rest as Portal received critical acclaim, often earning more praise than the other games on the Orange Box. Portal was a runaway hit, prompting Valve to start production on a full-fledged sequel, Portal 2, which was released on April 18th, 2011. Despite the popularity and success of both titles, Valve can't count to 3, so to this day, we calmly await for another entry in the series. I know that was pretty long, but this is an amazing, amazing game that has a brilliant history behind it. So, if you guys don't have anything else, we can listen to some more music, and then we're going to come back and discuss what it was like playing Portal back in the day. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that music. We're going to be discussing our memories, what it was like playing Portal back in the day. John, as our guest, if you would, please tell us, what are your memories while playing this amazing game?
Well, I'm sure like pretty much all of us, I got it as part of the orange box. I remember when Half-Life first came out, it was a PC only game, and I wasn't a PC player, but I always remember seeing images of it online, like not online, rather in magazines, and thought that it looked like really amazing, especially compared to the other games out there. Never got a chance to play it. So when I saw that there was a Half-Life on console, I got it. But I was really surprised how much like this game was just so good. I mean, nothing against Half-Life 2, it's fantastic, but just really shocked at how good this like little short 2-3 hour game was. I remember just being blown away by like how neat, like the concept. I mean, like this is a game that like it's the concept that kills it more than anything. Like it's the first time you see anything like that. There have been other games that have done it, but the idea of like building a portal on a ceiling and a floor and falling forever, or like kind of chasing yourself, and it just was such a mind-bending game mechanic that it really had me like hooked. And it's one of those games that sticks to you for a long time.
Absolutely. It's such a unique and amazing concept.
Yeah, I definitely really enjoyed it. And then, it's one of those games that at first it seems like just the mechanic of, going in one place out of the other was going to be enough. But then when you introduce the concept of momentum, fall into a portal, shoot out of the other end, and all the other various ways that they used it. And, it's one of those games that you expect it to be kind of really simplistic at first, and then it starts getting deeper and adds new gameplay elements that really make it good. And it ties it with a really nice narrative bow and a boss man. I mean, it's almost like a flawless thing for a little 3-hour experience.
Absolutely. Flawless is definitely a word I would use to describe it. Chris, what about you? What are some of your memories playing this game?
Well, I didn't play this game when it came out. I didn't play this game until it was about 2012, 2013 time period. And to be honest, I don't remember how I came across this game. I think Sabrina and my brother-in-law Chris loaned it to me, and as soon as I played it, I just got hooked. I am an achievement, and I went for all the achievements. I was playing this pretty much all day. Like, it's a short game, but I mean, I deep dove into it, and then I was lucky enough because by then Portal 2 was out, and I went straight into Portal 2. But I just remember just how completely different this game was, and just, I don't know, everybody's seen rip-offs of it. Like, it's definitely left an imprint. I just remember playing this in, like, I don't know, fall, in the middle of the day, because at the time I was on second shift, and it's just a nice, chill, relaxing game, and there wasn't much of a storyline at first, and then as you move along, it just kind of creeps in on you, and the atmosphere really kind of takes over, and it's such a great game.
It definitely left a cultural impact, so much so that arguably one of the worst webcomics, gaming-related webcomics of all time, features the joke all about the cake being a lie, which was used ad nauseum during this time frame.
Dude, I bet you there are a lot of people out there who are at least familiar with the phrase "the cake is a lie" that has never even played Portal, but just that phrase gets thrown out all the time.
I think it's especially shameful, the fact that there are so many funnier lines in that game, that the fact that
Dude,
one
so
has
many.
held up over time and the other ones haven't is bad.
I think that phrase like caught on just because it's like a nice little badge of honor, like saying, "Yeah, I've played this cool little indie game." It felt like, like at least in my circle, people who like to throw around "the cake is a lie," like that's kind of like their little
The secret handshake.
Yeah, exactly. It's the secret handshake. But yeah, there's so many great lines, and you were talking about how GLaDOS like makes fun of the character and is harsh and praises. I also love the way that she makes fun of the player too. It's not just the character in the game. She's kind of breaking fourth wall a little bit and making fun, like when you fail something. I remember there's like one line where she's like, "Yeah, if you manage to go this way, you're totally gonna mess up. And you went and did it anyways. Good job." Like, it's like the writing of this game was really clever, in my opinion.
And even though this is Portal 2, not Portal 1, although she does talk about adoption, in Portal 2, she makes a joke calling the player a adopted fatty with no parents. And there was a little bit of a controversy over that, where there was a father that was upset because he had his adopted daughter playing this game, and it upset her to hear all this. And
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like, the game is obviously not rated very high because there's not a lot of violence or anything like that, but you should be looking into the games that your kids are playing.
Parenting your children? Absurd. We have the ESRB for that, thank you.
And unfortunately, that's what happens.
During my recent playthrough of it, there were times where I adopted and wondered, like, I wonder if they'd still write that in, because there were jokes about being adopted and stuff. I'm like, I wonder if those jokes would still fly today, or if it'd give it a much harder rating, just for the crude humor or whatever.
I think companies still do way edgier stuff than what they're doing in this game.
Right, but this game is very, like Sean said, like there's not a lot of violence.
It got a teen rating, I'm
Oh,
assuming,
did it really?
for the because there's
Okay.
guns and stuff in the game, like the turrets that shoot at you. So it got a teen rating, but I mean it's obviously catered towards an adult market. Like I don't think
for
that
sure.
this was, like no one is saying this is My Little Pony's Adventure.
Absolutely true. Cory, what about you? What are your thoughts on this game? Your memories?
My memories, I don't know the exact day I got it. I got it when it came out on its own. I know that much. This was after they stopped making CD jewel cases, but before they went to digital. So there was that like weird plastic shell that almost looked like a VHS box. Like, them huge ones that I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I had like one of those huge cases and that just had Portal in it. So I remember getting that. This was kind of a big deal because this was what, 2007 that this came out. This was like the next big thing for Valve, who at the time were like a huge juggernaut in the industry, and they'd been pretty quiet for a number of years. And suddenly they announced this, and it's like, oh well, they got Steam running. Like, Counter-Strike's a big deal. Like, we just got Team Fortress 2 somewhere around here, I believe. It's like we were all waiting for something like single player after Half-Life, and then they announced this, and like everyone was like jumping on it, like, oh, it's gonna be like the next Half-Life or whatever. And it kind of was in a way, because this, the world still ties in, and there's a lot of Black Mesa references and stuff like that. But this was, it's probably like you said, it's anywhere between 3 to 6 hours, depending on how good you are at puzzle solving. But the gameplay itself anchored the experience to me, because you could play it without getting frustrated. Like, everything functioned properly. It was really fun. It was really engaging, and it was frustrating to a degree. But the thing that really like sold this, I think, was the narrative, and it was the fact that like they had such good writing in it, and it was funny, and it was fast paced, and like the antagonist is just this faceless robot, but they're very quick witted. Like it's kind of interesting because it's someone you really don't interact with like visually the entire game, and it was just this really like interesting experience, and the physics of it really kind of hammered it home. And this was kind of the back end of them giving us the Havoc engine with Half-Life. And then like you get this game and you're playing with these portals, and suddenly like gravity's this huge thing where you're having to place a portal up on a ceiling and then place one down below, and then you drop a cube through it and it gets launched, and then you kind of like have to start doing these like little physics problems in your head of like, if I put it at this angle, it'll get shot over there. And then like you're getting vertigo suddenly because now you have to jump through, and your entire perspective is getting flipped in an instant. So like the way that they designed it was just this incredibly precise thing from a gameplay standpoint, combined with like the narrative and the writing, and making it feel very immersive. And the fact that they did go away from creating a cluttered environment and putting it into this like clinical setting just made it even more creepy, because then you had this like murder robot forcing you through this like laboratory, and you're just like you're rat in a maze, you know.
Mhm.
So like that's just kind of like what I remember from this game is just like the setting more than anything. Like the gameplay is really fun. It's nothing that we haven't seen replicated now that like it's been out for so long. Like there's been, you know, other like innovative things that people have done. But at the time it was really cool. But I think the lasting power from it is the fact that like everyone remembers the killer robot AI, everyone remembers the story, everyone remembers like kind of the fun in jokes. Like there's at one point, you know, like it's you get this thing called like the weighted companion cube, and it's just this, you know, brick with a heart on it. And like they kind of trick you into getting invested into this stupid cube because like it saves your life repeatedly, like because it's this integral piece to all the puzzle systems. And then like the robot makes this joke about like you incinerated your companion cube faster than any other test subject on record, congratulations, like you heartless monster. And it's like, oh, okay, you're being a like this is fun. That's just kind of the thing I remember, you know.
I was waiting to see who would bring up the companion cube.
Yeah. So can I don't know if you've heard a certain other cube-related Easter egg that was supposedly originally supposed to be in Portal 2. Have you?
I can't think of what you talk about off the top of my head.
So in the lore of Portal, the Aperture Science Company is run by Cave Johnson,
Right.
and he's a little crazy, and it's implied that he puts his AI, his brains the AI. So it seems that GLaDOS is kind of a combination of the previous CEO and another character. But originally in Portal 2, supposedly, you were supposed to find another companion cube that was the AI of Cave Johnson still in it,
Oh.
begging you to kill him because he hates his life. And so it almost seems like that companion cube may have been kind of a joke, or at least, you know, the joke came afterwards, that GLaDOS is trying to convince you to not have any fear about killing the
Cave
cube
later
if
on.
we tell you later on to do it. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty fun. Yeah, because there's a bunch of lines about the cube where it's like, incinerate the cube, place your cube in the incinerator. Like, remember that the weighted companion cube doesn't speak. Like, you know, it's just like, hey, it's this inanimate object, don't worry about it. And then it like mocks you for doing what you're told to do.
I've seen sticker sets with the companion cube, the one with the little heart on it, and everybody makes the big deal about the companion cube. Like the companion cube's only in for one puzzle. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, I remember it just being this big deal, and it's only in for like 5 minutes of gameplay.
I have so much to talk about the companion cube. So initially, the designers had planned this really long section that they called the box marathon that was going to be all about carrying a cube from one point to another. However, during playtesting, players would constantly forget about it. They would leave it behind. So they added dialogue from GLaDOS and put hearts on the box to bring a sense of individuality to that cube, and hoping that it would cause the player to become attached to it. And this is also where they decided to incorporate a section where the player would have to incinerate the cube, foreshadowing how the player would have to defeat GLaDOS in the final confrontation. Because as you guys remember, you have to take the personality cores and put them into the incineration device.
You have to dismantle the murder bot.
So, John, I think we talked about this. Game theory has this whole section about the companion cube where it's theorized that each of these cubes are failed test subjects.
Yeah, I didn't remember talking about that, but that sounds believable. I mean, they also just seem to be in general clearly the components of her personality being like curiosity, intelligence, morality, and anger. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, I don't remember this being failed test subject. I believe it because I mean I've seen a lot of game theories, but it's been a while.
The theory behind this is that in all these other sections, you have this grid that you can pass through, but nothing from the level can be brought with you. If you manage to bring a turret to this grid, I think it's called like the Emancipation Grid. I don't remember the exact name of it.
Another great just name, you know?
But nothing beyond you, the character, and your portal gun can pass through it. And this section doesn't have that, where you can even potentially get past it with the cube. So the theory is that like if you were to bring the cube past the Emancipation Grid, it would dissolve the cube, leaving behind the corpse or the body of the failed test subjects.
Gross.
God, that's terrifying.
Yeah, that's really twisted. I mean, like when you do it with the turrets, they all cry in pain as they go through. It's pretty funny.
Still there?
I love when you knock them over and they're like, no hard feelings.
And in that tie-in that I was talking about with Douglas Ratman, he carries around a companion cube with him that talks to him. It's kind of implied that maybe he's schizophrenic by this time, or he's delusional because of the isolation, believing that he's like the last living human being in the facility.
Oh yeah, he's definitely schizophrenic. I think they even like show him like look at his medication in the comic books and see that he's taking like schizophrenia medication.
They do, but there's something unique about that. The medication that he looks at is close to, but not the actual name of an actual medication for schizophrenia. So is it done that way so they're not like talking about an actual medication, or is it just kind of a sneaky kind of thing that his coworkers or maybe his superiors are doing to him where they're feeding him medications that aren't actually helping him? Because Cave Johnson is insane. If you've ever played Portal 2, you know that he's just this madman. They just gets worse and worse and worse, especially as his disease progresses and starts to kill him.
Moon rocks will do that to a person because that's why how he dies. What gets him sick is the moon dust.
But my memories of this game. So we talked about this game. It came out in 2007. And John, we were in the same brigade at the time. And as you know, my unit had just gotten back from Iraq a few months prior to this. And then we were gearing to go back in November of 2007. So that kind of sets the stage for where I was at this time. And someone, I think from the units that we ripped out with, that we replaced with, had a hacked Xbox 360. And the local bazaar in the FOB had a shop that sold less than legal copies of PS2 or 360 games. And from there, I was able to play Portal through the Orange Box almost as soon as it came out. Quick note, we don't condone piracy, and I've purchased this game multiple times over the years before anyone jumps on me for having bought and played a pirated version. I did. I'm sorry, but
I'm gonna piggyback on this and say, hey, if we can get it legal, we get it legal. But the way that the industry is, sometimes this stuff just vanishes or it's not available for other BS reasons. So shove it.
I would say for me and Sean at that time, we had no qualms about doing piracy, and now at this point, I think we're far more understanding of like the industry and the repercussions of that.
But to the game, it was amazing. I'd never played anything like it before, and it provided just the right kind of game that I could play just a little bit and put away and come back to whenever the opportunity presented itself, which, while deployed, sometimes you don't have time being on shift or something else happens, or maybe someone else was using the Xbox. It was just kind of this joint thing. And they were usually playing Assassin's Creed, which the first one, at least, I think is another fun game. They came out at almost the exact same time that the Orange Box did.
We're not going to get into a tangent about Ubisoft right now.
No. But I think it came out in November when this came out in October. But it's a short game, and I did beat it a couple times, actually, and I tried to get other guys into it, but they thought it was stupid, or they just wanted to play Assassin's Creed, so whatever. John, I don't even think I talked about this game with you at the time because you were always doing other stuff at a different unit where I was in the aid station on the FOB.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if you and me talked about this game. You say you did. That was so long ago, but I just remember being really into it the moment it came out.
Yeah, it's such a good game, and it was so awesome to be playing it, especially in this environment where everything else just kind of sucked around you. So this was a great escape for me. And we talked a lot about Portal 2. A couple years later, I'm now heading to Afghanistan, and I'd just gotten Portal 2, and there was no way in hell I was waiting until I came back from that deployment to play it. But what I did is I sent ahead my PlayStation 3 in a tough box, and I bought a small TV while I was there. And so I played all the way through Portal 1 in Iraq and Portal 2 in Afghanistan. In short, I love Portal. It's such a unique experience that I've been hoping And I still have hope that there'll be a third entry for this game. Anyhow, guys, I think that we discussed this game a ton. We went pretty in depth. So unless anybody has anything else, why don't we take a break and then talk about playing the game in the modern day? Nothing. All right. Stick around. We'll be right back.
And we're back. So we're talking about the modern day now. As far as my modern day playthrough goes, I didn't play it. I think we originally planned to do this next week, or at least that was my thought process. And I have the week off, and I was going to sit down and do it, and I didn't do it. So here I am. But I did watch someone do a speed run of the game, and I learned that the world record of this game is under 16 minutes without glitches. So
What?
that's just how short this game is if you're not paying attention to the story and just trying to rush through it.
You're telling me there's a glitchless run that is 16 minutes?
It's actually 14 minutes 23 seconds, and the guy's name is Sidious. That is the current world record.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's really impressive.
Oh my god.
He's basically playing blind. Like, his shots are so fast together that it's nearly blind. It's really impressive.
I was going to bring that up, honestly, that it's one of the most impressive speed runs there is. When you see that, especially after you've played the game, realizing there are ways that these puzzles can be solved. I mean, like, a perfect example is, I think, like, number 18, one of the last ones, the one where you have to first get up high, go get a cube from a room full of turrets, bring the cube all the way across, and put it on a button, which normally that level, if you play it normally, especially the first time, it's going to be a 15 to 20 minute run just for that one level. And he beats it in I don't know, like less than a minute by using like a camera and like really quick portaling before a door opens. It's insanely impressive.
Yeah, he literally, like, he picks up the radio from one of the other side rooms, and then he takes a camera off the wall, and he, like, just cheeses it through, and it's like, whoa, okay.
How nauseating is it to watch this speedrun?
Oh, it's violent. It's literally like his head is snapping every, like, half second in a different direction. Literally, the most stable the camera is during the video is when he's standing in the elevator waiting for the next floor to start.
I don't know if I can watch this. It'll probably make me
Oh
puke.
no, it's rough, man. It's rough, but it's incredible. But yeah, so the world record for glitchless is, like I said, 14 minutes 23 seconds currently, and I did double check this is the standing record. And I believe the glitched was like 6 minutes or something.
I feel like I do remember a glitched run like back in the day where they use like the radio to like get out of the box.
It's a way to, like, force yourself through walls and stuff, I believe.
Yeah, it's a lot of out of bounds kind of stuff if I remember.
But yeah, so that was just kind of me, like, screwing around today and trying to find the watch to have commentary, and I missed the entire game because it literally goes by in the blink of an eye.
How long ago do you remember playing it?
The last time I played the original Portal, it's probably before I went back out on the road. So I would say like somewhere like 2016, somewhere.
Oh
in
wow,
there.
so around 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was a long time when I was doing long haul trucking where like I really like I was playing on a laptop, and this is not something you want to play like on the bunk of a truck. Like especially because I was running teams training students, like this is something you really don't want to play while you're in a moving vehicle either.
No, I can't even imagine the amount of nausea that would be generated from physically moving while you are trying to portal around this game. That's too much. Well, do you remember any of the puzzles to be incredibly difficult, or any parts of the game that really stood out to you?
The point where they started putting in like the bottomless death pits where you had to kind of like navigate your way, especially the ones where I think there's some puzzles in this that you have to kind of shoot while you're on the move, and you have to
Yeah.
like keep, getting that momentum built up as you're flying through portals, and it starts to get really jarring when your head snaps in a different direction because like you say you put the portal on the wall and then you put another one on the floor and then jump through it, and suddenly down becomes forward, and you get shot forward, and then you have to shoot again, and then that one turns into another direction entirely, and it's just like like when that started happening, it became really like it became a different beast entirely.
And that was so much worse in Portal 2, especially with like the acceleration gel.
Oh yeah, with two guys, especially if
Yeah, I
you
was
were
gonna say
doing
the
the
goo.
co-op too.
I have never played the co-op game. Have any of you done the co-op game?
Yeah.
Oh, I love the co-op
Man.
game. The co-op game is the best way to play Portal.
I got you, Sean. Me and you. I'll download it.
Okay.
We can both play it.
Same. I was gonna offer the same. Like anytime you
I
want.
have never played it. I would love to.
Portal 2 co-op is so good.
It's a completely different story arc because the single player is a Chell or Shell or however you want to say it, and then you get the two goofball robots when you do the co-op.
Peabody, I think one is
Anybody
named.
in Atlas, I think?
Yes,
You're-
yes,
Yeah,
Atlas
something
is
like
the
that.
fat one, I think.
And it's much more humorous too and lighthearted.
Well, Chris, what about you? What are your thoughts playing this game today?
Well, it's a much quicker game than I remember. Like I beat this in like 3 short sit downs. Like I remember it being this really long game back in the day, and man, I want to say I beat it this time around in easily less than 3 hours.
Yeah, see, I think I'm cutting you off here, but I think my original playthrough was probably closer to like 9 hours as well. And I think part of that too was the fact that I think I was looking for like Easter eggs and stuff in the second half of the game because they start to introduce all the Black Mesa lore and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start to like find those little like crevices, like the crawl spaces behind the walls and things like that. So there was a lot of me like looking for computers and trying to find like research notes or whatever, and like just kind of exploring the environment. Where now, if you're gonna play it, it's like, yeah, you could do this in 3 hours because you just kind of blitz through it.
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward path to go on. I remember exploring like every square inch of this game the first time around. And this time I'm like, what did I take so long for? Like I just kind of blew through it this time. But there were a couple times in the maps where you get in the nice long fall, and for some reason I love to jump down, shoot the portal underneath me, and then have it come out another wall and just see how long I can just loop for.
And then move and entire body break.
But yeah, no, the game it holds up really well. Like this game still plays super smooth. The graphics are very much still, mid 2000s, but it looks good. It's simple, it's clean, great
I
game.
think the clean graphics is the big part that makes it hold up because it's simple
Yeah,
flats
for
and
sure.
simple round things. There isn't much that's needed to accomplish such a clean, smooth look. And so the game is very much exactly what you're saying. Like you could play it today, and honestly, you'd be hard pressed to think it's anything more than a modern game.
Like the only graphics that don't hold up are the death pits of like whatever, the poison acid or
The
whatever.
fire.
Where you like fall in. And the fire looks pretty bad,
Yeah.
but besides that, like yeah, like falling in the pool of whatever, and you see like this grate that's like clipping through a beam, and it's flat water that like I don't know. That's my only thing that like put an age on it for me. Besides that, like the game holds up, it looks good, plays good, sounds good. The dialogue still holds up, it's still great. Like, this is a timeless game.
While I was researching for this show, I watched a lot of videos on the history of Portal, and the initial look of the game was very much the blacks and browns, the kind of muddy look that so many of these games had back then. If you think about like the original Quake and the original Half-Life, which so many assets were originally borrowed from the original Half-Life. That's why they started to tie everything in. And then it eventually got this more clinical look to it. But the initial game looked just muddy and brown and just kind of gross.
I honestly think the entire industry was doing that at that time too. Even, like we're talking about past Half-Life. Because this is around like Modern Warfare 2, Gears of War. Like everything just had that beige, depressing ass look to it.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Depressing is definitely the term for it. And they wanted to do something more with this game. They didn't want to just kind of add that initial vibe. They wanted it to be more curious, I guess, or at least like instill that sense of curiosity in the player, like, where am I? What's going on? Instead of this more just apocalyptic sense to it.
It's funny. It kind of gives like vibes to like the concept now of like the back rooms. Like nowadays,
Yeah.
like that's a thing, and Portal kind of has that same feel of like this blank office building and like this like weird generic look.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's just the fact that like because it is so sterile, it reminds me of a hospital, and it kind of puts me in that same uneasy feeling
Yeah.
as I get with a hospital, where it's like I'm in an unfamiliar place. I don't know where any of the stairs go. Like someone's gonna yell at me that I'm not supposed to be here, and like this is just creepy and unnerving, and I want to go home.
It's so funny for me to hear people talk about their experience in a hospital because I hear that all the time, but I'm constantly at one.
Right.
With my students and everything, I'm constantly inside of a hospital. So I love hearing about people's experiences with them. And I get that a lot, that people think that they are just a place of almost dread.
Because for most people, they end up being that way.
That's fair. That's fair. John, what about you? What are your thoughts replaying this game today?
I mean, man, like as we were saying, it really does just hold up. It's great. It's now I've played it enough times that I honestly think I could probably run through it in close to an hour. But it's just really fun. The dialogue's great. Like I said, the cake is a lie is far from the funniest line. You have her giving you generic compliments that are clearly just programmed in, like, hey, subject name here, you must be the pride of subject hometown here. And like there's these really just funny, like the comments are completely disingenuous. She's just programmed in. I think the writing is really clever and the gameplay. I mean, I can't say anything better for it. It's a great game.
Honestly, like it's so much worse than a backhanded compliment. Like you're so generic that I don't even care enough to really fill in this paperwork.
Yeah, I love it, man. It's really good.
I've replayed this game a few times over the years, but this is the first time in a long time. So I didn't have everything memorized, but I remembered enough that I was able to get through it pretty quickly. I think it only took me about 2.5 hours because I did take a little bit of time to kind of look around, and I did reset my gameplay a couple times because I was like, is that something that I need to explore further that I maybe missed on one of my previous playthroughs? But one of the first things that struck me was it's one of the first things that GLaDOS says. And she says, any appearance of danger is merely a device to enhance your testing experience. And I thought about this so much. And I think it's a really clever way to tie the player to the game. You being the real world player, tying them to the game. Having played the game, we know that GLaDOS fully intends to kill us, but in game context, it's a way of downplaying the very real and lethal dangers in the testing chambers, but frames them in a non-dangerous way. And maybe I'm not explaining myself very well here, but I thought it was a unique way of saying to the player, yeah, you can die if you mess up, but you shouldn't, because the game is saying it's not real, even though it's quote unquote real.
I think there's another undertone there too, where it's like there's no downside to failure in this game.
Yeah, exactly. It almost kind of made me think about like BioShock that I'd play later on, that the Vita chambers where I just get to keep coming back. But that's not the case here. You're actually dying. But I just felt like there was no danger, even though we know that there's danger everywhere in this game. The turrets are shooting you. We talked about the turrets briefly, but I love these little guys. They are just so funny. Chris, you even said it earlier. Are you there? And it's such an interesting idea to have this sentient gun. That is just
That has a little personality.
yeah. It's just
That apparently has the ability to sing like a opera virtuoso in part 2.
oh, it's so good, so good. But this is my first time playing the game with a mouse and keyboard, and what a difference did it make for how much smoother the gameplay could be. Because previous to this, I've only played with controllers. And that was fine, but the simplicity of the point click nature of the mouse just amplified my experience tenfold. And I love the companion cube. I have a stuffy around here of it. It's one of my favorite things. And it's just such a testament to the writer's idea of trying to get you to build an attachment to this thing that you then have to anything inside there. And it would make sense that they do so because they do make it unique by putting hearts on it. And GLaDOS does tell you that it's important. Special. And yeah, they made that cube special to you. And in a game where even if you run through it quickly and it only takes you a couple hours, that's the only thing you run into that's not trying to actively kill you.
And then you proceed to murder it.
Yeah, that you have to go out of your way to kill. What a game.
Speaking of like making you attached to anything, normally in every game, single player, multiplayer, whatever, like one of the things I love exploring is seeing the NPCs interacting with things and like making the world feel alive and how different games do that. And in this game, all you have is this robot teasing you and these empty office buildings, these empty, fogged over office windows. And when you finally get to see them, and they're just empty chairs and empty desks where you could tell there were people there at one time, and you see the empty staff room where they're talking about their profits being shrunk by Black Mesa or whatever. That companion cube in this game is literally the only somewhat friend you have in the entire game, because there is not a trace of, and besides Ratman.
Yeah, Ratman appears to be in love with it.
Yeah. Like the first time going around, I was just desperately looking for signs of life the entire game, and you just never get that.
I had kind of forgotten that aspect of it, that you, even though in those initial testing chambers, you do look up and you can see where there would normally be scientists observing your progress throughout this thing, but it's that, what's the term for frosted? Is that it? Frosted glass? Yeah.
Frosted windows? Yeah,
it's that frosted glass that it looks like there's a shape in there, but you're not 100% sure. And then that level of unease when you do realize that there's no one the entire time. You've been completely by yourself.
I also think it's worth mentioning the cameras. The fact that the cameras are all over the game and like move as you go around.
They watch you,
feeling like you're always being watched. Yeah.
By nothing, by one AI.
What a game.
This game really knows how to set an atmosphere.
Sure wish Valve would make another game.
Oh my god, yeah. Valve can't count to 3. That's the problem. Valve can't count to 3.
I don't even care if it's a sequel or something else in the universe. Like, they're such good storytellers when they make things. Like, I mean, even the Team Fortress and like Dota and everything else, like they're so good at their jobs, and they haven't really done the whole market thing where they've just, hammered us with DLC and everything else. Like, just give us something.
I remember years ago, I was so desperate for like some more Portal stuff, and like this was when like decent games actually started coming to mobile and stuff. I searched for Portal, and I found a Portal ripoff, except it was like a bridge builder game, except you're using portals. It was a straight up Portal ripoff. A blue portal, orange portal, and you're using that as like a 2D little structure building thing, but nothing to do with the Portal game at all, but just Just portals. Throw portals in it, make it cool.
Well, with all that said, let's take our last break. And when we come back, we're going to discuss our final thoughts of the game. Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be our last section where we discuss our final thoughts on the game. Is it worth a replay? Is it something we'd recommend to a friend? Do we need to play Portal 2? Is the sequel worth playing? John, what are your thoughts on all this and whatever other thoughts you have?
I think if you're a gamer, Portal is like required reading. I think it's just one of those games that there's almost no excuse. There's a lot of great games out there, but for a game that you can buy right now for no more than $10, spend no more than 3 hours, and get an amazing narrative and a great gameplay experience that was kind of wholly unique. There's not really anything else that you can get for that value.
What are your thoughts about playing the sequel? Is it something that people should play as well, or can they stop at Portal while getting the full experience?
I think Portal 2 is fantastic in every way, has an amazing co-op, but I mean, I don't even know. I can't even say that you shouldn't play it. There's no reason to not play it. I think Portal gives you a fantastic product. Portal 2 is fantastic. There's not much you can say that's bad about Portal 2. I mean, like, yeah, I'd still play Portal 2 just because it's a great game, but Portal 1 just feels like there's no excuse. You know what I mean? There's not a huge time restraint. There's not a huge cost. It's accessible in almost any form. It's just a game that you should just try at least one time.
And I would say, to build on that, don't skip over Portal 1 and go straight to Portal 2. Because Portal 1 just does such a great job of building it up, where it really like sets the stage for Portal 2.
Well, what about you, Chris? What are your thoughts on this game?
Said it all already, but this game totally holds up, and everybody should play this game. There's a few months ago where my wife and Gibbs were, I don't know, we were inside and we're just trying to find new games to check out, and I tried to get them to play Portal 2 with me, but neither one of them are very experienced gamers, especially first-person shooters. And yeah, it was just too disorienting for them. But it holds up. Like, I very clearly would recommend this game to anybody. And I will admit, like, it's such a great game. I don't know, the skill level required is very low for this game. Like, so don't be intimidated, like, just because it's like this legendary game or whatever. It is very easy to get into.
That's a good point. The skill ceiling is not very high.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally a puzzle game.
Yeah. Cory.
It's pretty good.
And that's it, folks. We're going to stop the show right there. Nothing more needs to be said.
It's. I mean, we've already said it. Like, it's a wonderful game. It's amazingly well written. The gameplay mechanics hold up. Visually, I still think it's stunning. I think the Havoc engine has stood the test of time. It's just a good game, and the fact that it is so old, it's probably really cheap to buy. I haven't looked at the price point on it. It's probably under $20. It's incredibly short. There's there's a million reasons why you should, and the only reasons why you really shouldn't is if you're just being obstinate or if you really just hate like having to listen to something funny, I guess.
So I'm looking on Steam right now, and I think it's $10, but it often goes on sale for $1.
Yeah, just like wait for the summer sale and just buy it, or the winter sales coming up.
And while you're at it, just get the Orange Box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why not?
I remember months ago, Sean, you said, "Hey, Portal 1 and Portal 2 are both on sale on the Nintendo's eShop. Get them because we will be playing this in the future." And I grabbed it as soon as you said
How
that.
much was it then? Do you remember?
I think I got 1 and 2 together for like $10.
Yeah, they definitely go on sale often and for very, very cheap. When it comes to the game, we just talked about the skill level, the skill ceiling, and the increasingly more difficult test chambers. Even they never felt unfair. It was,
No, never.
yeah, it was laid out to you what the expectations were. And whenever you start a test chamber, there's literally a wall where it tells you which number of chamber that you're in, and it will show you the different parts and aspects that are going to be involved in the tests. So you kind of get a sneak peek at what's expected of you.
Mm-hmm.
And the world itself in which the game is set is constantly engaging this part of your brain that's questioning exactly what's going on here. There's a mystery to be solved, and while playing it, you wonder if you're ever going to figure out the secrets of this facility, because it takes this 90-degree turn where you start entering the back half of it, where everything doesn't have this clinical feeling anymore, and instead it's the nuts and bolts of the facility that keep everything running. And it was just such an outstanding way to build a narrative, mostly through environmental storytelling instead of audio logs or journal entries and stuff like that. And I absolutely love the end, where the very, very end of the game, where you're finally given that cake that you've been promised so many times before. I thought that was such a cheeky way of ending the game.
Are you given the cake, or is it just showing that the cake actually was there?
That's a good point.
It shows it in a room.
Yeah, it does show it in a room. There's
But you were not. But you were. Yeah, you were
there's
not
some
in that room.
personality cores. I think there's turrets.
There's a lot of personality cores, which might be kind of like what you were talking about earlier, like the personalities of the failed test subjects. Maybe they're in all those personality cores, because it's like row upon row of personality cores in there.
Oh, and then real quick, then we have the iconic song at the end by Jonathan Colt.
Yes.
Which is so good. And assuming that it gets past the copyright protection, that's going to be played at the very end of this track. But guys, this was such an awesome show to do. I had so much fun researching it, playing through it, talking to you guys about it. John, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and talk to us about Portal for, how long has it been? Over an hour now? It's just been amazing. Chris, Cory, thank you so much. It's always fun to do these episodes. I'd love to do them more, but especially as we get closer to the winter months, I think it's going to be more and more difficult. But this was great. This is a great game. And our next game is going to be Sunset Riders for the arcade, Sega, and Super Nintendo. So guys, again, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone out there. We've been Superannuated Starman.
This was a triumph. I'm making a note here, huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Aperture science. We do what we must because we can. For the good of all of us, except the ones who are dead. But there's no sense crying over every mistake. You just keep on trying till you run out of cake. And the science gets done and you make a neat gun for the people who are still alive. I'm not even angry. I'm being so sincere right now. Even joke.